Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Crystal from the University Child Care Center. Today, I'll answer any question that you have about the various programs available to students with children. We have only an hour, so let's get started, shall we? Well, I heard that there are age limits for the child care program. What are the limits for the? Okay, it depends. First of all, this university will offer three programs for students who have children. For those of you with very young children, we have a daycare program that takes infants from 3 months and 30 months. We have another program for preschool children between 2 and 4 years of age. We also have an after-school program for school-aged children who are age 6 and older. Yes, I have a 10 years old girl. She is interested in soccer. Does this after-school program offer any school sports activities? Certainly, the program offers not just sports but crafts, outing, and tutoring, among other things, during after-school hours. They keep children after 5 o'clock most of the week. Yeah, requirement to original. These clubs are available to any student who has registered in more than 3 courses in the current semester. The fees are an hourly basis. You can take a look at the fee rates, and it says for $8 after it. There also waiver for you may be able to get the activity for nothing. Some of the waivers are 100 after the meeting. Any further on this one? No, but actually, I'm applying for an apartment in the housing campus where I buy yesterday. I saw a big housing company. I may be wrong, but I assume it's part of your center. What is isn't one facilities? Yes, that's our farm housing branch. One of the new solution. It's a there. Is there any special program for the friends or interns? I'm glad to ask. As a matter of fact, besides the campus-wide program for regular students with children, the University Child Care Center also offers 3 programs for parents in family student housing. We are very proud of this offering that sector of our student body. The first program is a nursery for infants and toddlers. 8 a.m. Monday to Friday for children after 4. Parents must schedule in advance or tell their from and pick up their children. You can leave your children with us as a nursery. Pick them up before so young. You can have at the cost. Oh, and where is it located? About to tell no cost. You don't need to pay for the nursery as long as the total hours for each child per week don't exceed 30 hours. Beyond that, you have to bear the cost at the rate of $3 per hour. Our new child care center is the expressly for residents in the housing complexes, and as you notice, it's conveniently located on the West Road, adjacent to the family student housing complex. The kindergarten is the one the nursery and the other houses are one floor up in the same building. We also have a walk-in health clinic next to nursery on the same floor. All the rest of the students can use the main child care headquarters at the corner of College and Davis in East Campus. And speaking of which, University Kindergarten is our second program. This program is available to parents with children between age 4 and 6 years taking up children after the nursery. I have to tell you about the kindergarten. It's great. It's fully accredited by the public school system. Our teachers are all state certified and we have the best teachers. And the curriculum item easily surpasses the curriculum of public kindergartens. They've been doing our university fraud. The kindergarten is, by the way, open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekends. Isn't it wonderful that we don't need you for nursery? You have a good program for school-age children of residents or family student housing, don't you? Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. Well, that's our third program. It's after-school child program. This and the other daycare programs are mutually exclusive, so to speak, because this one only offers at the family housing facility. This is also fully accredited by the public school system. This program is not free of charge though. Another thing with it stays are until 7 p.m. unlike our regular daycare programs. Children sit on another hour at a cost of 120 per school term. This is possible thanks to its propinquity to Eurasian complex. Wow! Here in yours, I know, isn't it fantastic? Wonderful term is not bad at all either. You wouldn't believe how much they are in the when can I from this program? Yeah, all of the fees are quite reasonable. Unfortunately, however, enrollment in this program at the child care center is limited and early application is essential. Well, since our program often have long waiting list as you can imagine. If you learn how new student need a subject, help yourself to brochure and form on desk here. Please let me know right away if you need any assistance so I can write down, get oriented. I have run on every service on campus. In case you need a duplicate of the portable function, another way to get it is download them from the website www.umchildcare.org. Elevator correcting. Today I hope to talk about the Supreme Court decision on Roe vs. Wade in 1973. In the case of Roe vs. Wade, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the woman's constitutional right includes the right to vote as well as pregnancy. In 7-2 vote, the Supreme Court determined not only that women have a constitutional right to abortion during the first pregnancy, but also that beyond the 3 months, the fetus is viable. The case was first filed by well, the ruling about the also Council of the High Court history bear first trimester during gay rights to opposing movements want to freeze a woman's right to have abortions and just to limit or deny that right. As you know, the first is called pro-choice, the second is pro-life, or life to life. The right fronted a decade-long splitting of some fringe the national debates over the issue. First, the legality of terminating pregnancy, concerning education. Third, the role of religious office in the political sphere. The Roe vs. Wade became one of the politically significant Supreme Court decisions in the history and held profound moral and legal implications. Divided the nation inspired grassroots activism. Did anyone judge your riddle? When you did, good. At one point, the whole procedure quite computational. Democratic Senator criticized him for giving incomplete and inconsistent answers the whole time. Yeah, he centrally sounded evasive sometimes. And our Democratic Senator got excited over his comment. What did he say? Something like, "I will be willing to reverse, to revisit the ruling." I think. I mean, besides the hedging question, Roe vs. Wade. Yes, it's more like it. But that's not all. He was accused of being a sexist too. He is a member of Aaron group. The conflict between the two issues isn't it, Roland? Here I think the main source of contention was his comment to the effect that he might be willing to revisit this illegal abortion nationwide. What this means is he left the door open to a reversing decision. As you witnessed in the Judge Arthur's case, the question of adherence has since been revealed so-called litmus so speaking generally, opposition to Roe comes from those who view this as irrational features. The support for Roe comes from those who perceive the listing of the necessary to human rights and personal freedom, and those who believe in primacy of individual over collective right. Let's start with clock back and the background history, where we tend to get easily bogged down and the whole picture. I think it's very illuminating to highlight political issue. Since before the time of American Revolution, the legal status of abortion has indeed gone through various changes under colonial when abortion was legal, provided that it was covered before the fetus could be had. The pregnancy in 1830 abortion was widespread as a method of birth control. If you check Mayfair magazine from this era, you'll find that they routinely another carrier attempt of abortionists with doctors. By the 1860s, doctors estimated that women had abortions at a rate of 1 for every birth. In 1860, however, the newly created American Medical Association began for a professional school for hygienic reasons campaign to outlaw abortion except when deemed necessary by doctors themselves. For this new law said abortion is underground, but social law was rural continuing throughout the 19th century and into 20th. In the 1950s, the movement to refuse state law banning abortion was begun. In the context of concern over the possible population explosion, we eventually falls to such a level Roman Catholics and violent followers of evangelical Protestants. In the state of constant France of in 1973, a case was filed by known she sued the state for right to abortion. Jane Roe, a standout areas for anonymous plaintiffs. But Protestants are needed. The Supreme Court ruled the case of Roe Password in her favor, and all states were directly to lift their ban. When the councils for the few people expected the desert to overturn the Texas law. That was because the court had become increasingly conservative with appointments by the President Richard Nixon of Chief Justice Warren Burger and Justices Harry Blackmun, Louis Powell, and William Rehnquist, and the retirement John Law passes were important in itself, also raised the issue concerning the degree to which the federal government could judge, and the federal government could legislate the most private fundamental issue of life and death, including the question of when life begins. This is a question that they have political dynamite, we all know by now, and that will be debated by scientists, moralists, and theologians for many years to come. That was everything read up on the whole thing. Logics